Hello, welcome to Cooking with Jonny Burnett, back in my kitchen in Bristol, and we have the ultimate steak sandwich for your lunch. So, let's crack on with this. Make sure you subscribe down to the channel below, Cooking with Jonny Burnett. Hit me on Instagram at Chef Jonny Burnett, and we're going to be tucking into gorgeous beer battered onion rings, organic ribeye steak, a green garlicky goodness pesto, rocket and slow roasted tomatoes, all within a stunning bit of local sourdough from my baker in Bedminster. So what we're going to do, we're going to break this down into some simple steps. The first thing to do is make the pesto, that's number one. And whilst we're doing that, we'll get the tomatoes in the oven as well. And then we're going to make the beer batter, cook the steak, and assemble this beautiful, beautiful lunchtime treat. Let's go. So the first thing we want to do is get our oven preheated, 180 degrees, and we're going to slice the tomatoes in half like I've done here. And then olive oil, salt in the oven, 10 to 15 minutes, get them beautiful. By the time they're cooked, this whole dish is going to be done and you're going to be chomping away on it. Drizzle the olive oil over, sprinkle in the salt, and then into that oven. So, what we're going to need for this pesto is washed rocket, a good handful, 3 tablespoons of pine nuts, some parmesan, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 lemon, some vegetable oil, and some proper lovely sea salt. What we're going to do is we're going to get all these ingredients into this jug, and then we're going to blitz it up. So simple, yet so tasty. Let's go. Start with a rocket, get it in there, get it all the way down, followed by the 3 tablespoons of pine nuts. These garlics, all you want to make sure is that the root's off, so just nip that root off, and then just roughly chop them, pop them in. So the parmesan, just about the size of my thumb, that's what I'm using there, okay? And we want to grate that straight into this jug using the microplane, okay? So to start with, we're going to use just half a lemon, and then we can always add a bit more at the end if we need to, okay? So get rid of any seeds, and then just squeeze your lemon straight into there. And this just gives it a lovely acidic background. So I've got 300 milliliters of vegetable oil in here. I probably won't need that much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start at 150 first, and then to see how much more I need to add, if I do need to add any at all. And then just a good pinch of salt. And that's everything you're going to need for the pesto. So now we just give it a good whiz with a stick blender, and Bob's your uncle, it's all done. That smells so damn good. That on top of your steak is going to take a steak heaven, I'm telling you. Green, garlicky, pine nutty, parmesan-y, all that stuff, all the goodness in here. Oh, and that is going to set your senses alight on top of any steak sandwich, I can tell you that for free. So now that the pesto's done, what we want to do is get that beer batter ready for the onion rings. And this is how we're going to do it. So, what we'll need for the beer batter is a decent sized bowl, some flour, some lovely, gorgeous ale, bicarb, salt, and a whisk. So, let's get the flour in the bowl. So 7 tablespoons of flour in there, 1 teaspoon of bicarb, a good pinch of the salt. I have exactly 1 pint of Bicarbonate in here, so we'll see how much we use. Give it an amazing whisk, make sure you get all that flour through, combine it and beating out any lumps you possibly can. Okay, this is perfect. We use exactly 350 milliliters of buckham there, and the consistency of this is exactly where you need it to be. What we're looking for is it just to leave a bit of an imprint on the top of the batter as we bring it out. Let me know it's perfect. So we got the beer batter done. Now it's time to get this onion ready to be battered, deep fried and eaten. What I do is just start the other end of the root, get rid of that top bit. You don't really want that in your onion ring. And then just cut reasonably thick circular disc out of it for as many as you want to eat, okay? So take the first bit off there, discard that, and then we have incredible sized onion rings. Look at those, that's exactly what you want. Big, proper onion rings, almost as big as Bianca's hoops from EastEnders.
Shut your mouth!
This is the exact size to make an incredible lunchtime sandwich. Now what you want to do is just put these in a little bit of flour, just so they hold the batter a bit easier, okay? Okay, so, batter's done, pesto's done, tomatoes are in the oven, the oil's on, two things left to do. Toast the gorgeous sourdough and cook that amazing ribeye steak. So let's get them done. We do not mess around at Cooking with Jonny Burnett. The best sourdough from Mark's Bread in Bedminster, Bristol. Oh, smells good. Let's get this ready to be toasted in the grill. So I preheated my grill really hot, and then we just want to get these sliced into thick wedges, and we're going to toast them up to make them nice and crunchy. Okay, bread sliced. Let's get it in the grill, toasting. So we have a lovely ribeye steak from the butcher. It looks beautiful. We want to get this seasoned in some oil and get a frying pan sizzling hot. Okay, olive oil. One side of the steak first of all. Good pinch of salt on there, okay? And then get that pepper over that steak. Lovely. Flip it around and just repeat the same process. If you haven't got a ribeye steak, don't worry too much. Try and use some steak that has bits of fat on there, or as tender as you can. Now, if you've got a lot of money, use a fillet steak, why not? It's amazing for it. But for me, ribeye is definitely my favourite. Get a marbling on the fat, and it just soaks into the mouth. It tastes so good, so that's why I use it. Okay, so we're about to cook the steak and the onion rings at the same time. So make sure that pan's really hot, make sure your oil's hot enough, and this is where a little bit of chefy multitasking comes into play. So we got our onions here, just gonna pop them in the batter, and then we wanna make sure we get them all covered up. Just gonna pop them into our hot oil. See that lovely sizzle, exactly what you want. And then we just want to lay our steak down. Again, you hear that nice sizzle, you can see it, you can hear it. Okay, you can see those onions are coloured nicely now. And get them out the fryer. Our onion rings are done. Look at that lovely, crunchy, brown onion ring. That's exactly how they should be every single time. So the steak's been around 2 minutes on that side. Just flip it over. The trick when cooking steak to make sure it's to excellent quality is to not keep on flipping and faffing around with the pan. Let it stay in there, let it caramelise, and that's how you get the best steak. So letting that steak cook for around 5 minutes on the frying pan so you get a nice medium rare pink inside. And then you want to just pop it onto a little chopping board and let it rest before we carve into it and assemble the sandwich. So this steak is looking beautiful now. I'm just gonna let that rest for about 1 minute. Before we serve these onion rings, make sure we give a nice sprinkling of salt, okay? And as simple as that, everything we need for this amazing lunch is right here on this board. Okay, now time to assemble this beautiful lunch. Let's get some of that pesto just at the bottom of this bread. And then, let's slice this beautiful steak, eh? See that, I got a lovely pinkness just in there, absolutely beautiful. Let's layer this up with the steak. Beautiful, wonderful. Then we want to get our lovely tomatoes onto this. Pop them on the top there. A nice bit of rocket just on the side. Lovely balsamic drizzle. Everything's nearly done. Now it's time to get Lee's gorgeous onion rings straight onto there. Just pop them just there. Lovely. And then finish around with some more pesto. Just all around that plate. And then when you want to have the sandwich, you can pop this right on top of it. But I always like to keep it open just for picture purposes, if I ever want to put anything on the gram, okay? So here you are, my ultimate steak sandwich. Beautiful, fresh, green, crunchy goodness. So once you assemble your steak, then we're just going to shave some beautiful parmesan on the top. And that is fit for a king or a queen. So now it's time for me to do the favourite bit of the day. Enjoy the goodness. They're perfect. And now it's time to tuck into this bad boy. That is so, so good. I hope you all enjoyed doing this one, and I hope you all tune in to next week's Cooking with Jonny Burnett. Get involved in this steak sandwich. It is gorgeous. I'll see you all next week.